At 6, first the highlights. Lagos State government declares tomorrow as public holiday in commemoration of Isheshe Day. Federal government calls for urgent measures to protect humanitarian workers amid rising attacks. On the quarantine, Gaza protesters descend on Chicago for Democratic Convention. And in sports, Nigeria's Falconets get colorful reception in 2024 on the 20 Women's World Cup tournament. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State government has declared tomorrow, 20th August, a work-free day in commemoration of this year's Isheshe Day. This was contained in a circular signed by the state's head of service, Bode Aguru. According to the circular, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu approved the work-free day to give necessary support to traditional institutions, as well as enhance the promotion of indigenous tradition by preserving cultural heritage. The government in the circular enjoined all traditional worshippers and citizens to use the day to pray for the peace, unity, and stability of the state in particular and the country in general. Workers are expected to resume their duty post on Wednesday, 21st of August by 8 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, the Ogun and Osun state governments have also declared tomorrow to be a work-free day to celebrate Isheshe Day. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, has apprehended a trailer driver involved in a hit-and-run incident at Antonio K heading towards Oshodi. The driver was apprehended after hitting a pedestrian who was attempting to cross the expressway near the Total filling station at Antonio K in Mot Oshodi. The incident, which occurred in the early hours of Monday morning, sparked significant concern among witnesses and commuters. The pedestrian, who sustained a serious injury, including a broken left leg, was promptly attended to by personnel from Lagos State Ambulance Service, Lasambos, and transported to a nearby hospital for urgent medical treatment. LASMA officials on duty at the time responded swiftly, pursuing the fleeing driver and apprehending him at Oshodi. He has since been handed over to officers from Mustafejo Police Station for further investigation and prosecution. LASMA reiterated its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all road users in Lagos. Lagos State government has employed 157 newly inducted school principals in the state public schools to be more proactive and dynamic in management of their school. Tutor General, Permanent Secretary of District 2, Anike Adekoye, stated this at the annual general meeting and induction of newly appointed principals of All Nigeria Conference of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Lagos State chapter, themed The Dynamic School Leader, Roles and Responsibilities held in Surulere. According to her, the step became imperative to prepare the new principals for their roles in the state's public service in line with the Themes Plus agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. Earlier, President of All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Lagos State chapter, Olushola Masheyi, congratulated the newly inducted school principals as the event marked a significant milestone in their journey towards excellence in the teaching profession. In his paper presentation, the immediate past secretary of ANCOPS, Lagos chapter, Taiwo Onipede, urged the inductees to be dynamic in order to add value to their students as well as their schools. The Lagos State government is optimistic of reduction in the prices of food items and other consumables within the shortest period of time, following the distribution of farm inputs to all categories of farmers and agro-processors across the state. To this end, the state government has appealed to residents to increase their involvement in subsistence farming towards self-sufficiency, job creation, and food security. Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Systems, Abisola Olusoya, expressed this optimism at the official flag off and symbolic presentation of agricultural inputs and productive assets to the fourth cycle beneficiaries at Okwaba area of Agege. She made it known that about 10,000 farmers that cut across fishermen, agriculture, poultry, piggery, vegetable farmers benefited from the full cycle distribution of farm inputs. The commissioner said symbolic presentation of agricultural inputs and productive assets were to force down the prices of food when the produce was sold in the markets. Olusoya noted that the program was a collaboration between the federal, state government and the World Bank under the COVID-19 Action Recovery Scheme. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has called on state governments to place more priority on agricultural development. Obasanjo stated this during a courtesy visit by a delegation of commissioners and special advisors from Niger State to Abeokuta. He noted that with modern agricultural equipment now available, the impact of agricultural initiatives can be greater than the projects of the past. Obasanjo said that agricultural self-sufficiency can move Nigeria from the state it is currently in and improve the socio-economic well-being of the people. He urged other state governors to follow Niger State's lead in agricultural development to ensure that Nigeria produces majority of its food. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has raised concerns over the increasing number of attacks on humanitarian workers across Nigeria, calling for urgent measures to protect those working in conflict zones. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja to mark this year's World Humanitarian Day, Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmed, revealed a disturbing rise in the frequency and severity of attacks on aid workers. This year's campaign, themed Act for Humanity, drew attention to the growing risks humanitarian workers face. Ahmed said since 2020 there have been 49 reported incidents, including 79 aid workers, with cases ranging from kidnappings and ambushes to fatalities. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has informed the federal government of its plans to embark on a nationwide strike by placing the government on a 21-day notice. According to the National Executive Council of ASU, the notice was issued at the end of the NEC meeting, which was held at the University of Ibadan, and a copy was expected to be transmitted to the Federal Ministries of Labor and Education. It would be recalled that ASU had threatened to embark on a strike over the non-implementation of agreements reached with the federal government. The Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, invited the union to a meeting on June 26 to deliberate on the lingering issues affecting universities and to avert the planned strike. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will begin distribution of permanent voter cards, PVCs, to newly registered voters on Thursday ahead of the gubernatorial elections in Edo State. The election is scheduled to hold on September 21, 2024. In a statement on its X handle, the Commission shared the list of the centers where the cards would be distributed. It said from August 22 to 26, registered voters could pick up their cards at any of the 192 wards in Edo State from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, including weekends. After this period, the collection will move to INEC's local government offices across the state, where voters can collect their PVCs from August 28 to September 8. Now to foreign news. Protests over the war in Gaza, led by Democrats from the party's left, have threatened to disrupt the unity message at the Democratic National Convention, which commenced on Monday in Chicago. The convention is expected to be a celebration of Kamala Harris's nomination as a presidential candidate following Joe Biden's exit. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are expected near the convention site to show their opposition to President Biden's policies towards Israel and Gaza, from which Harris, his vice president, has not deviated. There will also be events organized by pro-Israel groups, including a hostage square, to draw attention to the plight of those who remain in Hamas captivity. Relatives of hostages are also expected to attend the convention. And now sports. Colorful traditional dancers Flag-waving enthusiasts and members of the local organizing committee, of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Colombia 2024 were among the excited crowd that welcomed two-time silver medalists, the Falconets of Nigeria, to the Colombian capital, Bogota. Fascinated by the pomp and pageantry, the Falconets, who landed at the El Dorado International Airport after a 13-hour flight from Istanbul in Turkey, lapped up the reception and showed appreciation to the crowd. The Falconets' final phase of preparation for the 23-day championship will include tough tests against Australia and Mexico. They will face Australia on Friday and then confront the Mexicans 3 days later. Nigeria is one of only 4 countries to have played in every final tournament since the competition was launched as an under-19 event in Canada in 2002. Others include USA, Brazil, and Germany. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, on Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, YouTube. Subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration organized a mentorship seminar for over 1,000 youths on the theme Agripreneur Strategy for Wealth Creation? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has declared tomorrow, 20th August, a work-free day in commemoration of this year's Isheshe Day. The federal government has raised concerns over the increasing number of attacks on humanitarian workers across Nigeria, calling for urgent measures to protect those working in conflict zones. We also told you that protests over the war in Gaza, led by Democrats from the party's lefts, have threatened to disrupt the unity message at the Democratic National Convention, which commenced on Monday in Chicago. And in sports, colorful traditional dancers, flag-waving enthusiasts, and members of the local organizing committee of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Colombia 2024 were among the excited crowd that welcomed two-time silver medalist, the Falconets of Nigeria, to the Colombian capital, Bogota. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowolaya. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.